Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Unplugged, where we dive deep into the world of technology, explore tools that shape our digital experiences, and uncover fascinating insights along the way. I'm your host, and today we're taking a closer look at a powerful tool for manipulating JSON data, JQ, while also discussing some of the common frustrations users encounter with it. Have you ever found yourself wrestling with error messages when working with a programming tool? Well, you're not alone, and JQ is no exception. For those who aren't familiar, JQ is like a Swiss Army knife for JSON. It allows you to slice, dice, and filter JSON data with ease. But there's a catch. Its error messages can sometimes feel a bit like trying to decipher a riddle in a foreign language. So, picture this. You're working with a JSON dataset that contains information about people, like name and age. You write a JQ program to traverse that array and create an object based on those values. But then, bam, you hit an error that says, cannot index number with string A. Yikes, that's one of those moments that can take the wind out of your sails. JQ tells you there's a problem, but it doesn't really explain the why. Imagine you're trying to put together a jigsaw puzzle, and you find a piece that just doesn't fit, but you have no idea what the picture is supposed to look like. Frustrating, right? That's exactly what local errors in JQ feel like. They give you a tiny glimpse of the problem without painting the full picture. That's where an alternative tool called TJQ comes into play. Just like a better GPS for navigating a complex city, TJQ offers clearer, more global error messages that guide you towards understanding the underlying issues in your JQ scripts. Instead of the "you can't do that" type of response, you get a detailed message along the lines of "shape mismatch detected," which is much more informative. So how does TJQ work its magic? It builds up what's called a shape, or a semi-concrete version of your JSON, filling in the gaps as it processes your program. Think of it as creating a blueprint that lets you compare your desired outputs with the actual data. If there's a mismatch, TJQ helps you identify where things went astray. And speaking of shapes, let's talk a bit more about that. When we visualize our expected shapes versus the actual JSON we're working with, it transforms the way we debug our code. Instead of throwing your hands up in frustration, you actually get clarity. A blueprint that aligns your expectations with the reality of the data. Now, if you're intrigued by the potential of TJQ, I encourage you to check out their documentation and see how it can enhance your JSON manipulation experience. Trust me, it might just become your go-to tool for tackling those pesky JSON challenges. Before we wrap up today's discussion, let me pose a question to leave you pondering. How do you think the ability to visualize data flow and structure could change the way we approach programming? It's definitely food for thought. Thanks for tuning in to Tech Talk Unplugged. If you've enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to subscribe for more insights and explorations in the tech world. Until next time, happy coding, and may your JSON always be perfectly formatted.